Oh, okay. Hi, you guys are watching the Mac and Cheese podcast. Today's guest is the wonderful fan of the year, Tom Grossi.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. His Twitter is at Tom Grossi Comedy. Tom, when I was typing up the script, I couldn't put your at because it would put you in the document. It was
It happened.
So if you want to follow him there, please do. And I know and you remember us from Tampa Bay.
Yes. The very hot and hectic day. Yes.
So Justin and I have the same outfits that we met you in today.
Let's go.
I was literally just looking at those pictures today.
Continuity. You got to keep it.
Yeah. Obviously.
I support the GOAT of defensive ends, Reggie White.
Of course. Come on now. Greatest defensive player of all time. Come on now.
So I don't know if you knew about this. We asked our Mac and Cheese fans to actually vote for you for Fan of the Year.
I appreciate it. Let's go.
We put the link in every episode, promoted your charity live streams and stuff. Some dude named Tom.
Roman Night
Let's go,
Rose.
Rose. Let's go. Also, Mary, cheers. I know you.
Yeah.
I know. Justin, cheers.
Cheers.
We're rousing out here. Let's go.
Yeah. In the hut. And then Sean said hi. Oh, hi, Tom. So do you want to mention the Tumblr thing again? I'm sorry. So for those that do not know, I actually bought Tom the Packers Tumblr from 30 and 30. Do you want to explain what happened to that?
Oh, yeah. So, no, the Tumblr is just because I keep everything that fans send. I had to start implementing a system where, like, I just have boxes where I'm like, okay, like, I've very much outgrown this space. Like, right now, there are boxes just literally across the floor right now. There's boxes in the garage. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't want to throw anything out. Like, I want to keep stuff. And, like, when I get to a new house, I can, like, kind of put it around and display it. So, yeah, it is currently packed away, is where that currently is right now.
Okay, I'm curious. Did you happen to use those luggage tags too?
The luggage tags, I actually tucked them in my suitcase, so they are currently still there.
Yay! Okay. How about that poster? How was that? Is it still good?
Poster is currently rolled up and is also put away, but that one I had to make sure was nicely put away because I didn't want anything to rip or fall apart.
Okay, so for those that do not know, I'm actually the one that made that by hand. I literally wrote Grossi Posse Packer Nation or something the day before the event. I hand wrote it. And I actually drew the cheese head too.
The beautiful cheese head.
And all the signatures that was on that, guys, was at the Tampa event.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was like such a cool part just to like have that, because there were some folks who did something similar, like in like either earlier or like previous ones. Like, for example, like New Orleans, I got it was like a baseball jersey that was signed by everybody who was there, which was really cool. So yeah, any of those things that, like, you know, the people signed it. I actually wore the same shoes that I did for 30 and 30 during the International Stadium tour.
Oh, okay.
I threw them out afterwards because, good God, they were falling apart on my feet.
I bet.
But it's funny. I think it was Philadelphia. I was signing shoes, so like people were like asking me to sign shoes. So I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care.
Right.
So someone asked, "Can I sign your shoe?" I was like, yeah, I don't care. Go ahead. So they signed my shoes. They're like on my shoe for all of 30 and 30 and all the International Stadium tour. And people would be like, who signed your shoe? I was like, it was a fan.
Next.
Don't worry about it, Justin. Not yet. So I was
Alright.
actually Tom and Justin earlier.
go.
Just Tom and Johnny's signatures.
Let's go.
That's on my room. So whenever people walk into my room, Tom, I have to show them this.
Of course. Let's go.
And they're like, you know the fan
It's
of the
also
year?
like really nice too. Like like I've never seen that design before. It's really nice.
I actually bought it in Southwest Florida. So
Hey, listen, you get it.
what?
You get it however you can. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't have to buy it from Lambo. And why I didn't didn't bring the tumbler to Florida is because I knew you would have to ship it home anyways.
Yes.
So I just didn't want to.
Greatly appreciated. Yeah, that became a big, so that actually became a funny story. So the issue was, like, I was just going around with one bag. I had a backpack and I had like my one bag for 30 and 30.
Yeah.
International was even less. Like, international, I had my backpack, I had a carry-on. Like, that was it. I went to all those countries.
Game.
That's a good game to be at. That was a good game to be at.
I So I was looking back at my Amazon purchase, Tom, and I ordered that tumbler like June 20th.
There you go. Just in time.
Like literally like days after the meet and greet.
There you go.
So there's another question for you. Who would be your dream matchup if the Packers if they went to the Super Bowl this year?
Jeez.
Ooh. So here's the thing, right? There's the obvious answer is the Chiefs, because if you can knock off like and prevent them from getting a three-peat, that's just magical. But
Right.
I'm sorry, Sam, I don't think it's gonna be this. But
Ooh.
I mean, bro, I would love to see a Packers Bills Super Bowl. I mean, just the fan bases alone, just the tailgating alone, it'd be so special. Like that would be really, really cool. Yeah, and Texans are up there too. Again, like two young quarterbacks, but yeah, no, I'd love to see Bills Packers. I've been wanting that for a few years.
That'd be
2020.
Yeah, we just didn't get it though.
I think Packers and Texans though would be fun.
Oh, it'd be great.
Stephon Diggs. Oh no. Peter said even okay, that'd be a good one for sure, even as a Bears fan.
Yeah.
I think Broncos would be good. Packers and Broncos.
I don't know if the Broncos are going to be making it to the Super Bowl anytime soon, but we'll see.
Broncos going 4-12.
Yeah,
They're
we'll see.
4-13.
We'll see.
Are you guys streaming that preseason game together?
We are, yes. We are planning to do so. Yeah, I
For
actually
those
have like
that
an
did not
event
just
that
hear.
day. We will be streaming that because it's prime. It's like on prime time. It's 8:00, so it's like nationally shown. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh, right. Are you
Get some
streaming
revenge.
the other one too, or no?
No, so the Ravens one, I'm going to be at because that's the
I meant-
one home I go
Right.
every year for training camp. So that's
Yeah.
the one game they have. They only have one home game this year for preseason.
Right.
So
I meant the other home game though, or the other away game.
oh, I don't know if it's broadcasted. If it's broadcasted, probably.
I
But
thought I
Just
saw.
on the Packers network.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Yeah, probably, definitely the Broncos one. Yeah, just had to see what's scheduling for the other one.
We are so excited. So Tom, one of my friends and I, she tells me when you drink. So
It's true.
I'm kind of well, I'm not forced to drink. It's kind of fun. And this was one of my dreams is to drink with you, Tom.
There you go. You had the Allagash.
Yes, I did get
Making,
it.
teamwork makes the dream work. That's it.
I found it in my Whole Foods and I'm like, are you kidding me? I could have brought it to Tampa for Tom.
That was awesome. In Buffalo, they brought Allagash White. Like that
That's
was really, really
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
I love how like that's been a thing, and I still haven't been to the Allagash Brewery. Like it's in Portland, Maine.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a decent trip away from me,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, I gotta see. I gotta make my way up there at some point because I think I've gotten a good amount of people to buy Allagash White, and they're not even a sponsor. I just like the beer.
Yeah, you got me started to drink it.
It's good stuff. It's just good. It's
It's
good. beer.
good. Yeah.
Good beer.
Yeah, we a recent earlier episode we interviewed Matt Remmons, and Mary and her mom got me a spotted cow
Oh,
from their
nice.
trip
There
to
you go.
Wisconsin earlier, and good thing I had that spotted cow during the interview with Matt.
Let's go.
Oh, yep. We had Matt Ramage on.
And I,
Let's go.
Yeah, and I still have the can. It's empty, but it's just a
Yeah.
little souvenir.
Dude, yeah, no, I mean, because like you can't get it outside of Wisconsin unless somebody brings it to you, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what makes it difficult. So
Mhm.
yeah, I get it.
Same with the Quick Trip donuts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Peter has a good question for you. Okay, hate this because I know I'm setting myself up here, but taking bias out of it for a minute. What do you think of the Bears offseason?
I mean, I think that they crushed their offseason. I mean, for them to their draft, I mean, they didn't have a lot of picks and one was on a punter, but it's arguably the best punter in the draft. But to get Caleb Williams, who was the guy that they wanted to get, right? To go out and get Rome, who now they already got DJ Moore, who's great. And then on top of that, like they got Keenan Allen, who's basically a 1-year rental, but he's going to be able to teach them. And I mean, his route, I love Keenan Allen. So I think it's just going to come down to like, is like their center. Like we're going to see like that with the offensive line because it's definitely improved over the years. It's not as bad as it was. Their defense, which they're rebuilding, it got a lot better after they got Montez Sweat last year after they made that trade. So it's just going to be, is Caleb Williams the guy? I know
Right.
their defense got better near the end of last year, but coaching I still think is a major, major question. Like if they do like really, really poorly, like I don't know if they fire people after that because I know that there's some hot seats in Chicago. So I think
Right.
it's just going to depend, like, is Caleb Williams the guy? And you're just not going to know until, the season.
So many games are
Tom,
played.
Yeah.
us girls have been chatting in the chat. Brewery tour stand-up show and fan beat up.
Let's go.
Make that
Let's go.
Oh, make that
Let's go.
for the Packers don't play the Bears till week 11, so we don't.
Yeah, it's
so
late.
We see 10 weeks of Caleb Williams before the Packers play them. It would be in Chicago first, and then week 18 at Lambeau again.
Yep.
Okay, Tom, I want to know your opinion about that. Why is that?
Well, I mean, it's just gonna be the schedule too, right? I mean, they're ending again against the Bears, which it's always against a division rival, but
Right, but at home twice in a row is the part that no one gets.
at home twice in a row. What do you mean?
We play the Bears again at home.
2023 was that 2020 end of the 2023 season was Packers against the Bears at Lambeau.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I mean, like the Packers,
Really?
because they've started the season. They started last year like on the road, like at Soldier Field and stuff like
yeah.
that too. So they're trying to be like somewhat fair with it, even though you can only do so much.
Instead of him actually running the show, right? But
Well,
yeah,
I didn't think about that connection either. Yeah, you're right.
yes, I
Does
couldn't.
anybody take him from the Dolphins too?
No, so Weaver is he's a Baltimore Raven guy. So he was
Okay.
he was on Mike McDonald's defensive staff when he was
Or
over.
maybe it was Anthony Campanelli. One of them is from the
Yes.
Dolphins.
Yeah, so Campanelli was the run.
Dolphins.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was the
that's what I was
linebacker
thinking.
and
Yeah.
run game coordinator for Miami.
So
and then
basically, Joe Barry and him switched places.
It's like yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
This should be a fun game.
It'll be a good
Another
game.
one
It'll be a
I'm
game for
excited
sure.
to see is the 49ers.
Not complaining.
Right. So, what are your thoughts about Jeff Hafley?
Jeff
Yeah.
Hafley?
Mhm.
Oh man, I am smitten. I am completely in. Like from the times of just listening to him speak at every press conference, listening to him talk when he was at BC, also hearing what other NFL players that played up under him have said. I think he's exactly what we need. I feel like when we got Matt LaFleur's way of like attacking defenses and teams is to go at their weaknesses, right? Like he's not like Mike McCarthy had this old way of like, hey, we're gonna run our stuff.
Right.
You're gonna know we're gonna run our stuff, and we're not gonna adapt or change. We're gonna just run it. And you got to beat us, right? LaFleur never thought that way. I feel like he's like, okay, I'm gonna find where the weaknesses are and attack the weaknesses. And now we have somebody on the defensive side who thinks the same exact way. Like with Joe Barry, everybody knows how I feel about Joe Barry. And the fact is, I'm not a fan, but he would go out there week in and week out and just do the same thing and expect a different result. And I don't think we're going to have that with Jeff Hafley. I think with Hafley, he's going to be he's going to have he's going to have the same concept in the sense like, press man. I just found out what open close means. And like, having more of an aggressive style defense, but he's going to try to figure out a way to see, okay, these guys are good at the run, but they're okay at the pass, or whatever the case may be. Oh, this offensive lineman has a weakness on blitzes, or this one has a weakness on 2-gap, 3-gap, trying to figure out different ways of attacking their weaknesses instead of just saying, okay, this is our scheme, we're going to run it, and then hopefully we win. So I'm extremely excited, and I'm hoping that Jeff Hafley isn't like, how like Mike McDonald came from Michigan, right? And then he ran the number 1 defense in Baltimore, and then boom, he got a head coaching job like the following year. I'm really hoping to God – no, he might have been there 2 years. I'm going to say maybe 2 years. I think he might have been there 2 years. But basically, I don't want Hafley to do – I want him to do really well, which is good for us, but not to the point where like that he's getting head coaching opportunities. And I don't – in his defense, like he did that in BC, right? He was a head coach. He was a recruiter. He was all these things. I think he just wants to go back just to coaching and focusing on the things that he loved, which is defense. And hopefully we can keep around long enough to do that.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I just love the vibes around.
Yes.
I like the vibes around the defense. Jair was the.
We'll get back to the question soon. Josh Jacobs doesn't have a rushing touchdown. Is that going to happen, Jordan Love, ever? in his
Rushing
career?
touchdown or passing touchdown? I think it's a
Receiving
passing
touchdown. He hasn't had a receiving touchdown yet.
Yeah, receiving touchdown. That's it. Yeah.
It's going to happen. With
Oh,
Jordan
it's going to
Love.
happen. Yeah, it's
Probably
definitely
on
gonna
a
happen.
wheel route.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, just seeing the way we utilize Aaron Jones out the backfield. Now, he didn't get the ball much, like in the passing game, which I think he should have, because if you saw his numbers at El Paso when he was in college, man, he played everywhere. This is Aaron Jones, obviously. Now I'm a big Aaron Jones fan. I'm still sad that he's not here, but like he played everywhere. And Josh Jacobs is no different. I mean, he is an Alabama kid. He played all over that scheme. He was catching the ball, he was blocking, he was running. Like he could do everything. And I think that's the reason why they got him. They spent a little bit more money They went and got him because minus last year, he's a pretty durable guy. Like he's had injuries, but he never misses games.
Okay.
And he is a 3-down back. Like
Okay.
he can do everything. And he has pedigree too, right? Playing at SEC, playing at Alabama, that helps a lot as well too. So
Right. And also Josh Jacobs is playing with a college teammate, Xavier McKinney, too.
yeah,
Interesting.
exactly.
Wow.
That was another thing too. Yeah. And then
Mhm.
also him and Keyshawn Nixon too, because they both played him when they were in Raiders.
Also,
right?
Rich Bisaccia is
Yep.
another reason why apparently Josh Jacobs signed with the Packers is because Rich
Oh, yeah.
Bisaccia
Dude,
and
Rich made an impression when he was the interim head coach there. People were actually pissed that he didn't get the job because the fact of just him not only taking that team, and they were in the playoffs, and I was like, he was like should have been his job, honestly. But you know what? If he is the head coach there, who knows what happens? That's like a whole other alternate world. Real quick, living for JC, Shane Waldron made Jimmy
yeah.
Smith a New Pro Bowler. Yeah, he didn't do that. It was more so all the weapons and all the talent around him. And again, go listen to what Jack Jigma has to say about his former OC. And he didn't have a lot. He had nothing nice to say. And literally, he started laughing. And he was like, oh, man, like, wait, is this live?
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm just I was like, let's not. I was like, okay, have fun. If you think
Right.
that, I was like, we've seen what Caleb can do with a subpar OC when he was in USC with Cliff Kingsbury, who I think is not a good OC by any means, and now he gets even a worse one with Shane. So good luck, have fun.
So one thing to note, I don't know if you guys heard this on NFL Network, Josh Jacobs did say Jordan Love is going to be the next superstar
I
in
saw
the
that.
NFL. And Josh Jacobs also said this. To me, just from what I've seen, he has all the traits and the tools to be a superstar in this league. I think that as he keeps continuing to play and he gets experience and becomes more confident in his abilities and what he can do, he's going to be the next superstar in this league for sure. Josh Jacobs said that a couple days ago.
I mean, honestly, like, I don't see Josh Jacobs being the kind of dude that just makes stuff up. Like, he's not saying something to blow smoke up someone's butt, right? Like, he truly believes that, right? I think, and the truth is, everyone saw it last year. Everyone saw what Jordan did literally during the Pittsburgh game and afterwards in the Chargers game, right? Like, I think me and Justice and Bernie were talking about how, like, the Chargers game, you really saw Jordan come alive, right?
Oh, okay.
And, like, for me, and the biggest thing I feel when it comes to Jordan's ascension is going to be the fact that last year was with the youngest team, youngest offense, a lot of first-year players, a lot of people learning in the building. Now everybody's on the same page. So the offense should hit the ground running and taking that step. I don't know. We'll see how that's going to take some time, right?
Yeah, you have a Bears fan complaining again.
He's
Stacy.
a good dude, and what I love about him is like he's just like us. Like him and Corey started out just like we are all starting out, trying to like just put our names out there, trying to talk about Packers from our perspective. And for him to come on the show meant a lot, and it definitely got us like a lot more views and stuff like that. And like I said, like Aaron's amazing, man. He's a really nice guy, good dude, and like just I'm supposed to be going to New York one of these days, and I'm looking forward to meeting him actually for once, right, in person.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But yeah, no, he's a good dude. Like I said, interviewing him was a lot of fun because he knows football through and through.
From what you're explaining with Aaron Negler was with with Tom exactly like that.
I believe it. So
incredible. Yeah.
Again, Tom's like us, man. Tom started out with a YouTube channel, right? Yeah. And he just loves football. And what I love about him is the fact that he's like kind of like me in particular. Like I love not only just I love Packers football, right? But I love all NFL football,
right?
And like for him to be able to speak on all of that is so cool. Yeah. That's a dream of mine to be able to do that one day.
I also love like Tom's like charity aspect of his channel in particular. Like he recently raised over $1 million. People, $1 million for charities
in under 3 years.
Yeah, in under 3 years. I don't know if you saw his recent tweet, but he said by next year, $2 million.
That's crazy. Look, more power to him. Like for him to do what he did last year, the 30 for 30, and then this year doing the international ones. Right. I was like, yo, man, like Tom is amazing. And then also you can't forget, if you're gonna talk about Tom, you gotta talk about Johnny Barks, his cameraman. Johnny, another really, really down to earth, cool dude. And just I love the work that they do together. Like they give more than they receive, and people like that, you need more people like that in the world, because with so much negativity, so much just self-interest for a lot of people, it's good seeing that there's people out there that actually care about others and are willing to sacrifice their money, their time, their energy to help others when they don't really need to and they choose to. Like that means a lot.
And a healthy elbow too. It was like when Tom
my
jumped
gosh,
on the table in Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out Bills Mafia.
There's a Bills Mafia person in the chat.
Right? Like, what are we doing here? Come on now.
Oh no, they both got COVID at an NFL game. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
So my friend Peter, he's living for JC in the chat. Obviously asked other people about this one, but would love to get your thoughts on it. What do you think is the biggest adjustment Love needs to make that now that there's film out there to battle to beat in?
For me, I think that the biggest adjustment that he needs to make is maybe getting more comfortable at the line. Like, what I mean by that is, you saw what he was able to do in the Dallas game, right? Where he was able to like call out plays. He knew what the defense was going to do. He knew all blitz was coming. You know, call the right protections, call the right route changes, and then was able to throw that wicked touchdown to Dontavian Wicks, right? I think for his next step is going to be getting more comfortable in the offense, making it his, in a sense, right? And maybe like, see, the thing for me is like, I'm not like the big film junkie guy, right? I just know that there's times where like that last play of the game where he threw the pick across his body, he was trying to get to Christian Watson, right? I think it looked like he was trying to get to Christian. Yeah. And he had to do that because there was so much pressure coming from the left side, and then when he ran out, Nick Bosa was right there. I think there's instances where he's gonna, because he's very athletically gifted, right? Utilizing his legs more. I'm not saying like, try to run the ball like Lamar Jackson, okay? But if you look at the way like Joe Burrow does it, Josh Allen's another beast too. Josh Allen is like a linebacker playing freaking quarterback, right? Like the Josh Allens, Anthony Richardsons, and like, those guys, they're built different. And then Lamar is just wicked fast. He can do everything, right? Jordan just needs to be able to like find those opportunities where like, okay, if I can't get the ball downfield, which he's spoken about, he's talked about like his job is to get the ball to his playmakers and let them make a play. And he's always looking to make a play. And I respect that. I love that. But there are times where it's, hey, man, just take the ball down, just run for 5-6 yards, live another down. Don't force a play. And I think he knew that. I think in that play, he knew he forced it. He knew it was a mortal sin. And I think with him getting developed under Tom Clemens, he's going to maybe probably take a little bit more opportunities. Like, okay, I understand. Okay, if I can't see anything open, I'm not going to force it. I'll just run it and get 5, 6, 7 yards and go from there. Rodgers used to do that a lot. Rodgers was like very much like he looked play, didn't like what was going on. He would just run it, and he would get a first down, or whatever, and he would then live for another down. Because down the NFL, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what? Like, he's back and he's yeah. I'm just not a great guy, man. I'm sorry. Like, he just keeps getting opportunities because either he knows somebody or he's pretty to look at or something. I don't know. He's easy on eyes.
So apparently, Urinating Tree said Jay Cutler was the best Bears quarterback ever.
He was only there for a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denver trade.
What? So speaking of, we were talking about the Eagles game.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley versus Xavier McKinney.
Oh man.
And for some odd reason, we always lose against Saquon Barkley. Always.
Yeah, Saquon, man, he got to our number. I ain't gonna lie, Saquon does.
I know.
That's still where he's now an Eagle.
Yeah, it's still weird. Like watching Hard Knocks and hearing them talk about it, and just being like, yeah, in a perfect world, we'd love to have him. But then hearing the way like Sean was like kind of talking about, Joe was talking about, he goes, yeah, you're not paying Daniel Jones $40 million a year to hand the ball off to your $12 million running back. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't agree with the logic. I was like, if you have a $12 million running back named Saquon Barkley, you do it. Like, I mean, with that being said, you're drafting talent like Malik Neighbors. You're drafting good players around him to be able to throw the ball to them. But like, you need a good run game. And so, yeah, the logic didn't make sound, but they couldn't afford it, and hence they couldn't afford him or Xavier McKinney, right? And
Right. Yeah, that's
not
true.
to go playing against each other. And honestly, Saquon went to the best situation he could go to, like Philadelphia run offense. With the run RPO option stuff is like going to be nasty. The only problem is that I have no confidence in either coordinator for Philly. Like, Kellen Moore has not been that great. He had his stint in Los Angeles Chargers wasn't that good. He was okay with the Dallas Cowboys, and then Vic Fangio might be cooked. Like, the time, the game might be past him now, and just everything that came out about him from Miami. Oh my gosh, those players were just the reason why they have so many kickers in right now. James Turner, messing that up. God,
I just Googled it.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, man.
I just Googled it really quick.
Thank you so much. I was like, I know. Yeah, so Turner's my guy. I'm thinking that they might keep more than one kicker. So you have one kicker for kickoffs, and then you have the other kicker for field goals and extra points. It makes sense.
Yeah. Ed Policy would.
You know what? That was the worst kept secret. That was the worst kept secret at 1265. I think everybody knew. Yeah, you knew it was going to be his successor. You knew that he was going to be the next guy up. I mean, even if you go back and watch, like if you ever watched on the Packers, when they did like the history videos, like those, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, right? Ed Policy's in all of them. And it's like, and that was a while ago. Yeah. And so he's been with the team. So he's been with the team since 2012. He is not a local guy, if I'm right. And he's not a football guy. And so Andrew Bryant, who used to work in Packers front office, has spoken about that too. Like the Packers, they might go back to that formula of not having a football guy running everything, right? And on top of that too, Bob Harlan had set up a good hierarchy. Like
podcasters from the Packernet podcast network that lives like 15 minutes from me here, and I want to go to that one. But as far as games go, to me, it's just I want football back. I want it back, and September 6th is when it's back.
A lot of us do. Well,
yes.
Not the first game, but.
Wait, no, I need to add an addendum to the answer to that question. Okay, so it was a couple of years ago. I got in a bit of an altercation with an Eagles fan. So this is a little bit personal too. Because he asked me, the people that follow me know this story already, but he asked me, which team was better, which is a bad question to ask. If you're an Eagles fan, don't ask a Packers fan which team is better. That's just dumb. Like, you obviously don't know anything. So my response was 2 words: I win. And then I went into the championships and the Hall of Famers and the back-to-back court. And he was drinking at the time. He was slobbering drunk at the time and belligerent and got mad at me. And it almost ended up to be a problem. And I had to walk away. But his question was, which team is on the rise, the Green Bay Packers or the Eagles? And they were going to the Super Bowl at the time. And I said the Green Bay Packers. And September 6th. So that's part of the reason September 6th for me has a little more meaning, but we're going to smack them down.
I was going to say the Dolphins is going to be another good one.
Dolphins going to be fantastic. I'm going to love that. But the other thing too, for me, the week 1 matchup against the Eagles. Last year we had a great game, week 1 against the Chicago Bears. We came out guns a-blazing. And then we were not able to carry that out. Because that's the Bears, for crying out loud. Score 38 points against the Bears. It's fantastic for Packers fans because the Bears suck, blah, blah, blah. If we fly to Sao Paulo and we win against the Eagles are a legit NFC team right now. And if we not only do that, but then consistently play at that level, we're going to win a lot of games. So for me, the importance of that week 1 matchup against the Eagles on September 6th is really could be a touchstone / watershed game for a team. If you're talking about the watershed being between the 2023 season, which the first half was not that pretty. The second half, Jordan Love was playing at an elite level. I think we're going to find out maybe what 2024 really could potentially bring for the Green Bay Packers.
I'm saying the Dolphins because it is Joe Barry's revenge game.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see that. And it's also like, usually Florida teams usually do bad in the snow or cold. So I mean, we saw how bad Derrick Henry did, like back in 2020.
Right, and that's when like freaking AJ Dillon like was
Mhm.
better that day than. Let's hope he returns to that kind
I
of form.
mean, it might be Josh Jacobs this time doing it, or Marshawn
Probably.
Lloyd.
Right.
Like,
I
in
wouldn't
this
be one
battle.
bit surprised if AJ doesn't end up the third running back on this
Oh,
team.
okay. Fine. I've heard a lot of differences, but okay. Also, it's Tyreek Hill in the snow.
Right, and in grass. Yeah.
Oh, and Tua. How is
Mhm.
Tua going to do this year? Concussions.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I wouldn't want. I have no affinity for Tua Tagovailoa, but I would not want his career to end or
Mhm.
bad things to happen to him because of those injuries.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty pleased that he was able to bounce back. But yeah, when he comes to Lambeau Field, I mean, we need to annihilate him. That's just all there is to it. That's what you do. You don't step on the foot against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field.
It's also going to be snowy. We know the Packers love the snow.
It's the best weather to play football in my opinion. Best
Yeah, I agree.
Best football memories of my life were in snow.
I bet.
Well, I think that can be seen as a good thing and not necessarily a detrimental thing. Let him come into his prime, let him thrive.
Hey, you said that about me, and look, here I am today.
You're just doing wonderfully, Mary. You're
Getting big guests on.
Light, yes, and you're doing
Getting
great.
Thank you. Oh, speaking of one of the big guests, not that you have to say anything about this. The Tom Grossi questions. Well,
Yeah.
this is a Tom Grossi question that's been asked. I know you said you watched the Tom Grossi episode, so you're probably going to remember this question. I'm curious, what is your matchup? If you could say the Packers were in the Super Bowl, which AFC team would you want to see the Packers against? Knowing that the Packers are in the Super Bowl automatically.
That's a great question. And I'm probably going to take off some people, but I don't care. I want to see it. I want to see Love and the team beat the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I just do. You know what? It's inevitable. They're on a collision course to meet this year, in the regular season. But there's something to be said that the Chiefs are a force to be reckoned with. And I would like us, now that we're guaranteed in the Super Bowl, to just do the damn thing.
Yeah. One, I think I said the Bills. I want to see the Bills, the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
Because it's going to be the best two tailgating teams. It's Buffalo and Lambeau. Beer drinking, you name it. I think it would be fun, especially at New Orleans, where it's at this year.
I can't wait for it to be in New Orleans. I hope they have. Oh, man.
So that's why I'm here today, is because of Tom. And we just want to say thank you, Tom, for coming on. And yeah. Do you want to hint at the surprise that we're working on or no?
It's gonna make a lot of people smile.
I think it's gonna make people cry too.
I think it's going to make people smile and tear up, and you're gonna definitely want to stay tuned for what we have in store.
I think okay. We will have it up after the draft in 2025. That's a big hint. I don't know. Is that a big enough hint?
I think that's a good one. A good one.
Emily knows what it is because she's helping me with it, and a lot of people do. Well, actually, not a lot of people know about it. Okay. Before we end our questions, Dennis, what was that text about the song? You cannot hit that at that.
About what?
The electric music or whatever it was. What was that about?
Oh yeah. Well, here's the deal. We were gonna do something, but instead we decided. You can see this whole setup back here. Like we've got all the setup in the world for all the music we are gonna play, but we decided tonight. On the last time that we were with you with the podcast, we played a song, but we thought the season's getting ready to start, We plan on doing a song for you. We're going to do our acoustic version of Tailgate Crazy for you.
Yay.
We'll play tailgate. This is a football theme, and we want people to know, we're a fan of yours. We're a fan of the fans, and this is the song, and you are the people who are giving us our avenue to Nashville, to Texas, to Chicago, to Green Bay. Y'all are doing this. So this is the song that started all this.
Yay!
You want to hear it now?
Sure.
All right. Sit back, relax a minute. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid, so much better when I popped a lid. Feel the rabble, open it up, drop that tailgate on the truck. Good doors and a gun rack. I begged, please, could I sit him back? He said, baby,
jump in the back, boy.
Tailgate crazy. 16 and in my prime. You know how I spent my time. Hit the dance and hit the cornfield. Drop that gate and seal the deal.
You know the deal.
I beg yes and I beg please. On that tailgate on my knees. She said, baby.
Baby, what?
Tailgate crazy. I don't need no on-couch, no. Need no rocking chair. We can drop that tailgate down, girl. Party everywhere. Tailgate crazy. Tailgate crazy. Now wherever we may travel, forever you and me, we'll drop that tailgate down, girl, for all the world to see. And I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, cause my feelings are pretty simple. Words get in the way. I won't be your after party. You can be my pregame. You can wear my jersey, darling. Same team, same name. Tailgate crazy. Tailgate crazy. I don't need no on-couch, no. Need no rocking chair. We can drop that tailgate down, girl. Party everywhere. Tailgate crazy. Tailgate crazy. Well, I don't rope no cattle,
No cows.
I don't own no horse. When I drop my tailgate down, well, I'm country.
He's country.
Contrary to the core, tailgate crazy. Tailgate crazy. I don't need no on-couch, no. Need no rocking chair. You can drop that tailgate down, girl. Party everywhere. We can party anywhere. We can party right here. Tailgate crazy. Tailgate crazy. Jason.
Yeah, Cassie said she's excited for Healthy Eric Stokes.
Same.
One thing to mention is I don't remember where we said it on. I know I said it somewhere. Kenny Clark said he only played with the Barry and Penn defense. He's never played the opposite. So that's going to unleash him, I think. Also, another
Imagine Kenny Clark taking a step up from what he's already been doing.
also one thing to note is Isaiah McDuffie played under his last year at Boston College with
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Halfley's first year at Boston College as well. So it's just going to be interesting how that goes.
Breaking news, everyone.
Go ahead.
Breaking news. Jordan Love just got extended. 4 years, $220 million. Highest paid quarterback in NFL history.
I saw Justin's arms go up, and I'm like, please tell me this is what I think it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep. NFL Top Sports. It happened live.
Being Ian Rappaport. Thanks,
It
Ian.
happened live, you guys.
Wow.
What's the chances of that? Like actual breaking news. Live. I predicted this. Justin, did I not predict this? It's
Yeah.
gonna happen the day it's gonna happen padded practice. So Jordan doesn't get injured. I said this morning.
Well, I'm hoping he doesn't get injured at all.
We just got breaking news, everyone. Jordan Love
So
finally got extended. Finally.
220, 4 years. That's 55 a year. That's
So we were close.
exactly
We were
right
close.
where we were
Yep.
all thinking. Yep.
Yep. We were all very good job, Jordan Love. Funny enough, it happened the same day Tua got
Mm-hmm.
signed.
I think
The same
you were
agent.
exactly right. I think it had to be the agent
Tua.
working the
Yeah.
deals. Yeah.
And it turns out Tua actually wanted more years or something on Tua's deal. And then Love wanted more money or something. I don't remember what it was. Oh. Peter made a good point. 55 million a year. They think he's better than Tua off a half season. That's a good point. Tua got less money than Love. That's a good point.
To quote Deadpool and Wolverine, let's fucking go.
Also, who was it? Bowler said that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all breaking on Twitter right now.
I don't. Here's the thing. Everyone, yeah, and I know I'm not going at Peter here. Everyone's saying like, oh, he's getting the deal off of half of a season.
Mhm.
He's getting this deal off of what they've seen in training camps. He's getting this deal off of what they've seen in the meetings, off of what they've seen in practice, and a full season of Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting this. He's not getting more money than Tua necessarily because he's better than Tua. He's
Right.
getting more money because he's the next man up.
Right.
Every franchise quarterback
Mhm.
that's coming up for a deal is
Mhm.
going to get a deal that's bigger than Jordan Love's because that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it goes. So he's getting paid. He's getting paid not because he's better than every other quarterback. He's getting paid because he was the next deal that was up.
Right.
Yeah.
So this Dak, does he get traded knowing this? No. He's the last quarterback
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
Unless it's
'Cause-
Purdy. Purdy could get extended too. Anytime now.
See, that's the thing. No, I know I just made this big grandiose thing about this, but Purdy should not be making more money than Jordan Love.
Yeah.
One thing to note now is the Dolphins almost wanted Love
Mhm.
when we
Whoa.
drafted him. We traded up in front of
Yeah.
where the Dolphins spot. Now, if the Dolphins got Love, how would this work? Imagine the Dolphins got Love and we got Tua, like flipped it around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Also, don't forget 2019.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dennis, for hopping
No,
by.
thank you, Dennis.
You know how much you appreciate, or you know how much you mean to Mac and Cheese Girl.
Definitely.
So James has a good question, Nick, and I told you we would bring this up. Kickers.
Okay.
You trust as a kicker right now.
We just want to jump into the kicker right now. All right, sure. Yeah. Okay, so even earlier today, right? I brought this up to Nagler earlier today on the Daily for Cheesehead TV,
Yeah.
and I said literally, if I have to read one more take about kicking being an issue for the Packers, I'm gonna lose it. Like people need to calm down. Like it's not that big of a thing. And I know that you'd want to touch on Alex Hale and all that jazz as far as the moves. So just rope it all in here at the same time. So I think it's a smart move that they put Alex Hale ahead of Kenneth. Having him as a safety net, not counting against our P squad count while Carlson and Joseph are battling it out is a smart move. I'm pretty sure Carlson's slightly ahead. I think today he was perfect today. I think he's currently over 80%. I don't think that this is a reason to be concerned. I think that we're lucky that this is what people are concerned about, right? Like instead of years past from like, oh my God, we don't have a number 2 receiver next to Devontae, or our defense is going to crap. Like the fact that we're worried about a kicker is, I think, speaking a lot to the preseason this year. As far as the kickers in general, I don't ascribe winning and losing as a kicker stat. The whole team has a chance for 60 minutes to put points up on the board, and I'm not going to throw it down on a rookie for losing a game last year in the playoffs. I really think that, I mean, Packer fans in general, I think this is just like the quarterback situation with Jordan Love, where you went from Favre to Rodgers to Love, and we've gone from like Chris Jackie to Ryan Longwell to Mason. Like we've had elite kicking for so long that people just got used to it. And if you look at Mason Crosby's stats, I mean, that's who everybody wants to say, oh, let's get him back in the building. But no, look at his first 4 seasons. And that guy didn't hit 80% of his kicks until 2011 in his 5th year.
Yeah.
Okay, and then in 2012, he dropped down to 60%. And then 2018, he had the yips, and we were all scared every time he hit the field. So it's like people have a short memory. And I would honestly quote Nagler from the other day at happy hour when I was talking to him. He said, if you're taking the day-to-day practice kicking percentage as something to be nervous about, go outside and get some sun. Like you need to calm down. These are not things to be worried about right now at all.
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed the Packer wedge. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because I mean, and obviously putting this from like the Homer perspective, as you put it, but you imagine like a Bears wedge with Hester running behind like Ian Badejo and Patrick Manley. No one's touching him.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Hester got the nod for the Hall of Fame, didn't he?
yeah, well deserved too.
Very deserved for sure.
Jamie mentioned, I am a true Packer fan, but you can't be the best unless you play the best, you know.
Yeah, I mean the NFC North is going to be an awesome division this year.
Yeah.
I think it's truly going to be one of the hardest in the whole league.
With of course the exception of the Vikings dragging everyone down with them, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Okay, because you mentioned that, let's talk about the Vikings.
Slightly different perspective then, and see if that changes kind of like how you analyze it and such.
Sure.
If you had to pick right now, who would you say Jordan Love has the better connection with?
So, I mean, even today in practice, you saw Kraft peel off for a screen pass for a huge gain. I mean, he's definitely becoming that sort of swing pass to the outside. Versus if you watched last season, you saw Musgrave take off the top a few times. So I think that he's more your deep threat tight end, more like I don't want to compare him to Travis Kelce because he hasn't earned that yet. But just that guy will go over the middle and go down for chunk yardage. Versus I think Kraft is going to be your yak guy that you throw the screen pass. He even calls himself the yak man.
Okay, I can see that because I was thinking back to when this was, I want to say when Jimmy Graham had started with the Saints, they had him and Benjamin Watson. So I was kind of seeing something similar to that. Yeah.
Sure. Unfortunately, we got Jimmy Stonehands Graham a little too late on our team, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to the Vikings for a little bit, Justin said keep Aaron Jones from scoring any touchdowns at Lambeau.
I am nervous about that, dude. I've seen Aaron Jones play with a chip on his shoulder, and I'm like suspectly nervous about that. That dude took $7 million out of spite just to come cram it down our throat twice a year.
Didn't he say like he would bring his most like energy towards?
Clifford was great when we needed him, kind of. And then Michael Pratt has a higher upside. I did a write-up on him after the draft because I liked him. And here's how I see it. And I got a little bit of crap from this the other day. I don't remember who I was talking to in the Packerverse there, but I was pitching it to somebody to bring in Tannehill. So my thoughts are to let Pratt develop.
Okay.
Sign Ryan Tannehill, who's very gettable right now. Let him coach up Pratt on the bench so that if Jordan Love does go down, I'm not crapping myself. I think the route right now is to but I mean, they did that, last year we rode with Clifford, right? Like, I mean, we weren't trying to pull in anybody else. So if you're going to keep 2, then keep Pratt. If you're going to put 3, get rid of Clifford and bring in a vet.
That's a good point about Tannehill, actually, because Matt LaFleur actually coached Tannehill as well with the Titans for the day.
Mm-hmm.
One name that I heard.
And they're veterans and the guys that they know. So that's why he's got a shot to stay. But please no.
No,
I mean,
because there was this one actually I hadn't even been aware of that we picked up as like an undrafted free agent. I forget his name right now, but I played for, I want to say it was like Texas Tech or something in college. 6'5", 240 as a receiver. It was like, oh yes, please.
Jeebus, that is a big fella.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of big fellas, I mentioned it off script. I'll go on camera and say it though. Not a huge Christian Watson person. Not super high on him, and he's our big deep threat guy.
Now, is that more because of the injuries or just something you see with like the talent level?
Both. So if the guy can stay on the field and prove me wrong, I will happily chow my words down. But the guy has been injured the last 4 seasons going back to college. He has consistently been injured every year. And I hope that in Madison they got it figured out and it's a weight distribution problem, like you said, and he's got the right leg working out like the left leg, and that's all great. But is he a viable deep threat? Does he change coverage? Yes. Do we need him in order to be prolific and productive? No. And I think that this year you see Taywicks and Jay Reed step up as 1s and 2s along with Romeo and 3. Not that Romeo's 3, but those 3 comprising your trio set.
Yeah.
And then what I think people need to start putting some money on is the 4th top target being Josh Jacobs out of the backfield.
Okay.
I think you're going to see a lot of passing to Josh Jacobs. It's a point of emphasis that he's brought up, that Jordan's brought up. They want to get him his first receiving touchdown. And also, again, you have Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, who have proven to be passing threats as well, which we haven't had since Jermichael Finley. So, I mean, Jordan's going to spread the ball around. It'll be a trial by committee. And for that reason, I don't see Christian Watson being imperative to our offense.
Okay. Question, because there actually is another one of your guys' receivers that you hadn't listed there that I actually do really like the style of and such. Where do you think that leaves Bo Melton then?
Sure. So I think so. My number is 6, right, for the Packers. I think the number for wide receiver is 6. I think that it's Melton over DeBose. I think that DeBose has had some good showing out, but I think DeBose could go to the practice squad and stay with the team along with Malik Heath. I know that inside the building, we like Grant DeBose, and he's looking good in preseason. Again, preseason, he's looking real good. But that's our internal bias. And the outside of the league, they don't know who Grant DeBose is for most teams. And so he can easily just go to the practice squad and sit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot similar to what we had done with I forget his name, the tight end that the Raiders had signed last year finally or whatever, Jesper Horsted. For a couple of seasons and stuff like that. So we knew how good he could be, but no one else in the league really caught on.
Exactly. And the Packers have a real good track record of hiding their prospects like that.
Yeah.
Look no further than our current left tackle Walker. Like we kept these guys veiled for years while we developed them and threw them out there. So like I can't see DeBose overtaking Melton or anybody else in the 5 above him. I was sad that Alex Magoo didn't get more of a shot. Like,
Interesting. Okay. Well, he was another player that was apparently injured.
I thought it was hilarious that they let him even try. I'm like, oh god, like